7 days, 7 morning habits, only one goal: reversing the decline of your kidney function.
I like it.
Gathering here, today we know that even patients in stage 5 can stop and even reverse the decline of their GFR. But how can you achieve that? Well, I have been helping kidney disease sufferers taking control of their health for more than a decade now. And if there is one thing that always works, it is focusing on good habits. So during the next 7 days, we are going to start one good habit per day. And these good habits will turn your morning into the healthiest part of the day. Also because I have a new recipe for you based on the latest findings about kidney health. This is a smoothie that can make you live longer and that fights proteinuria and diabetes. Do you want to see it? Let's start with this delicious smoothie. It has blood pressure and blood sugar lowering properties. It's alkaline, it's full of fiber and vitamins, and it's also full of antioxidants. Let's make it. Okay, let's start with the main ingredient of this smoothie. This is an incredibly healthy veggie, and just looking at its bright purple color, we can tell that it's full of antioxidants. This you see here is radicchio, a traditional ingredient in Italian cuisine. Don't worry if you can't find it. I'll also give you some possible substitutions. But radicchio is not something you can only buy in Italy. They even grow this plant in California, for example, nowadays. So look around the veggie aisle next time you do grocery shopping and see if you can find it. Because this is a medicinal food. Various preparations based on this veggie have been used for centuries all around the world to treat several illnesses, including diabetes and high blood pressure. But the main reason this is here today is the antioxidant content, which is going to be the recurring theme of this smoothie. And radicchio is also going to give a peculiar spicy taste to this smoothie. Can't wait to taste it! Up next, another antioxidant superstar, pomegranate. Oh, I love pomegranates, and they are in season right now. This fruit is so full of antioxidants, vitamins, and phytochemicals that just eating it in small amounts daily can positively impact the health of people with kidney problems. Science says that this fruit lowers your blood pressure. This was actually tested on dialysis patients with the goal of decreasing mortality rate. I mean, can you imagine it? A fruit so healthy, it will make you live longer.
That's amazing.
This is why we don't discard anything of it, alright? Keep in mind that most fruits contain the most antioxidants in those parts we usually discard. In the case of the pomegranate, the white bitter pith you see here is where you will find most of the antioxidants. Don't discard it. And we also have some healthy fat sources that we will add to make this smoothie not just healthier but tastier. Flaxseed. Now, this seed has become a must in any well-planned renal diet thanks to its anti-inflammatory effect. Eating flaxseed regularly protects the kidneys, especially in those with inflammatory kidney disease. There are studies showing that flaxseed can improve GFR levels in CKD thanks to its impressive anti-inflammatory properties. This is why this seed is the mainstay of the renal diet today. Just like turmeric. Turmeric is incredible, probably the most powerful anti-inflammatory in nature. A study showed that consuming 500 milligrams of curcumin, the active ingredient in turmeric, can be as effective as taking 50 milligrams of diclofenac, a common arthritis medication at reducing symptoms of knee osteoarthritis. Yes, you will feel it if you turn this smoothie into a habit. And your kidneys too. You see, taking turmeric every day also shown incredible results on proteinuria levels. But keep in mind that the curcumin in turmeric is not very bioavailable. That means it's not easily absorbed by the body. So how can you increase its bioavailability? Well, that's what the other ingredients are for. Here, we also have black pepper. While we need pepper to absorb the curcumin from turmeric, studies also tell us that the piperine in black pepper is also great to improve the absorption of the antioxidants in fruit and veggies. And piperine is also an antioxidant as well. Another ingredient I want to use to make everything else more bioavailable is coconut oil. This is a great source of healthy fat, also useful to improve curcumin and certain antioxidants absorption. Fat can enhance the absorption of these molecules by forming micelles, which are tiny spheres that can transport fat-soluble substances across the intestinal wall. And it's not just that. Coconut oil is also rich in medium-chain triglycerides. These healthy fats are the best friends of people with diabetes. Not only this is the only form of fat that the body can use as an immediate source of energy, a bit like carbs but without an insulin spike at all. MCTs are also linked to better weight control and improved insulin response. Super healthy, especially in combination with the other ingredients. You see, in this case, the whole really is greater than the sum of its parts. This smoothie is both antioxidant and anti-inflammatory, which means that you will feel its positive effects on your body if you drink it every morning for a few days in a row. Now, last but not least, let's add cinnamon, both for its taste, its anti-diabetes properties, and a couple of ice cubes. And let's blend it! Okay guys, let's taste it! I like it. I like the taste of the coconut oil and the cinnamon. It's exotic, but it's a little bit bitter. Maybe you could add some stevia? Or not? Let me know what you think in the comment section. And guys, don't forget to like this video and to share it with a friend so they can also try this recipe. Okay, we have just started a good habit that will change our health for the better. But how we are going to be able to tell if it really works? Well, with the next morning habit, day 2, update your health journal. The morning is the perfect time of the day to update your health journal. And don't get me wrong, keeping a health journal is one of the best things you can do if your goal is to improve your kidney health. So every morning, take your blood pressure and write it down. Don't just take it, write it on your journal. Same for your glucose levels if needed and your body weight and all the other info you need to keep track of. If you are also using an app to track your food intake, you can then compare the numbers. Why is this important? Well, this is for accountability. There is a saying that goes like, what gets measured gets done. It means regular measurement and reporting keeps you focused because you use that information to make decisions to improve your results. And well, the result we are aiming at here is to start or keep improving your kidney function, alright? Reversing kidney disease. This is our goal. So take those measures and make sure it gets done. Our third day now, another great morning habit we can start is day 3. Take vitamin D in the morning. Oh, the kidney vitamin. Are you supplementing it already? Well, while vitamin D is not a habit for everyone, some patients are prescribed it in a monthly pill, for example. But anyways, it should always be taken in the morning. Why, you may ask? Well, vitamin D is the key regulator of bone metabolism, calcium and phosphorus homeostasis, and it also tells the body that, well, the sun is up in the sky. Yes, this vitamin is used by the body to kickstart the circadian rhythm in the morning, so make it a morning habit, alright? Because while many vitamins are important for you, vitamin D seems to be the most crucial. It can make a huge difference if your goal is to improve your GFR numbers. Too many CKD sufferers are still deficient in this vitamin today. About 8 out of 10, which is a concerning number, because this deficiency is actually linked to a faster decline of kidney function. This is why, when it comes to vitamin D, it's crucial that you turn this vitamin into a morning habit. And since we are talking about vitamins, there is another vitamin that you should also be taking in the morning. Actually, a group of vitamins. Day 4, take a big group vitamin supplement. While you can supplement things such as vitamin C and magnesium with any meal you want, Vitamin D and vitamin B12 in particular should always be taken with breakfast. Make them a part of your morning ritual. The reason why you want to do this in the case of B group vitamins is vitamin B12. Have you ever noticed that when you take your multivitamin or your B group vitamins, you have a sudden boost in energy? Well, the reason is vitamin B12. This vitamin is used by the body to convert the food you eat into glucose, which gives you energy. Great for those with diabetes. But some people even use vitamin B12 as a replacement for coffee for the same reason. But for people with kidney disease, the main benefit of B group vitamin is their ability to fight anemia. This is a serious and very common complication of kidney disease that, unfortunately, goes mostly untreated. Yes, doctors don't take this issue seriously enough, and this puts kidney disease patients in great danger. Up to 70% have anemia. But don't go away yet, we still have to see 3 of the best morning habits you can start. Day 5. Replace your coffee with a cup of green tea. Okay, there is a big debate going on about coffee today in the scientific community. Some will tell you that coffee is healthy, and they are right in some cases. Coffee is especially good for people with diabetes, but others will tell you to avoid it, especially if you are having troubles managing your blood pressure. But who is right? Who should we listen to? Well, the answer is, in my opinion, listen to your body. Because you see, recent studies are linking caffeine intake to higher chances of developing kidney disease. But that's not true for everyone. Only for people with a common genetic variation that makes it harder for their bodies to get rid of caffeine during the day. They may not notice it, but drinking coffee during the day will severely impact their sleep quality and their kidney health as well. What to do then? Try replacing your coffee with green tea and monitor your blood pressure and your sleep quality. See if you get any improvement over the course of a couple of weeks in your energy levels by having less caffeine. If that works for you, you may be one of those people that are sensitive to caffeine, right? Which means that for you, replacing coffee with green tea may be a way to improve kidney health. And by the way, green tea also comes with its own benefits. It's an antioxidant powerhouse, and that's extremely important when battling kidney disease. Antioxidants can help prevent cardio and microvascular complications. They may decrease proteinuria and may even prevent the progression of diabetic kidney disease. Yes, this cup of tea may be a better ally in your battle against kidney disease than most people realize. What can be even healthier? Day 6. Exercise first thing in the morning. Now, exercising is probably the best single thing in the world you can do for your health. Take hypertension, for example. The most common medicines used to treat this condition are linked to kidney damage and hyperkalemia. But do you know what's even more effective than taking pills at controlling your blood pressure and without side effects? Yeah, exercising. And what about diabetes? Well, do you know what the #1 cause of diabetes actually is? It's visceral fat, the hidden fat we all carry around our organs. Now, the thing about visceral fat is that the diet doesn't work as well to reduce it as it does for subcutaneous fat, alright? This is why skinny fat people are also at high risk for diabetes. Only exercise can prevent that effectively. So if your goal is to stop kidney disease, yeah, you want to exercise regularly, but you don't need to spend hours at the gym or do intense workouts to reap the benefits of exercise. Did you know that even walking at a brisk pace can be just as effective as working out in the gym when it comes to lowering blood pressure and improving other important markers? That's right. So my advice here is to find a way to exercise that you actually like. Aerobics, strength training in the gym, a class, or even just walking at a brisk pace. Whatever you like. Keep in mind that the key here is doing it regularly, alright? That's why exercise should be a morning habit. Morning workouts typically mean you're less prone to distractions. When you first wake up, you haven't started tackling the day's to-do list. And after that, you may also benefit from that boost of energy and sense of well-being that comes with exercising. Okay, but what can be even healthier? Final day, taking garlic on an empty stomach. Oh, you thought I forgot about garlic. Well, I didn't, because garlic has some amazing properties for people with kidney issues. All of them backed by science. Garlic could effectively help you get rid of a hypertension medication, and this is key to lowering creatinine. But it also helps with sugar levels, with cholesterol, and with inflammation. Taking garlic on an empty stomach every morning is probably the best morning habit in the world when it comes to lowering creatinine levels. Remember that garlic needs to be prepared in a special way if you want it to work. The active compound in garlic, allicin, is not present in the clove itself and only forms when the clove is cut or crushed and then left to rest for at least 10 minutes. Now, if you want to know more about garlic, my video up here. This is the #1 reason why CKD patients cannot improve, says science. Despite all their efforts, most kidney patients are not able to improve their GFR numbers. This recent study says that his dietary staple may be the key to solve this problem. Focusing on what actually works is key to help people get better. So let's talk about what really matters when it comes to stopping and even reversing the progression of kidney disease. This recent study found out the #1 reason why most CKD patients cannot improve their kidney health despite all their efforts. So if you are doing everything you can to improve your GFR numbers but nothing seems to work, this may be the reason. So question, what is the reason why most CKD patients cannot improve? One of the most authoritative studies about kidney disease seems to have found the key to the renal diet. This paper, published in the BMC Nephrology, has outlined what can be considered the #1 problem with the renal diet. Let's read it directly from this study. For most patients with CKD, it is difficult to control their DPI, daily protein intake, as per the standard range, even under the guidance of registered dietitians. Don't worry if this part is not clear, I'll explain better in a moment. The Modification of Diet in Renal Disease Study, MDRD, found that average DPI reached 0.77 grams per kilograms per day under strict guidance, contrasting with the desired value of 0.58 grams per kilograms per day in the LPD group. So what these researchers mean here is that while CKD patients are supposed to eat as little as 0.58 grams per kilograms per day of protein, which is a very small amount of protein, most of them are simply not able to do so, even if they try. And this can definitely frustrate any effort at improving kidney function. In fact, a large study proved that even when guided by registered dietitians, patients on average were eating 0.77 grams per kilograms per day of protein. And that's a lot more protein than what a patient in stage 3B to 5 pre-dialysis is supposed to eat. Now guys, if you think that you may be eating too much protein, don't worry. First of all, this is not your fault. This diet is still relatively new, and even dietitians are failing to make it work, as we have seen. And most importantly, the study I want to focus on today is not about the issue. It is about the solution. Yes, these scientists believe they can improve your renal diet at the point of stopping or reversing the decline of your GFR just by focusing on what they call low-protein staple foods. Easy to prepare, easy to eat foods that you can add to your diet to greatly decrease your protein intake and protect your kidneys. Now guys, we will see what low-protein staple foods are recommended in this study in a moment. Before that, very important question. Is the low-protein diet actually proven to help stop kidney disease? Well, today there is solid scientific proof that everyone with kidney disease needs to limit their protein intake if they want to improve their GFR. At the point that today, the guidance, the rule book for the diet for kidney disease, not only says that patients must restrict their protein intake, it even prescribes low to very low amounts of protein to basically anyone with CKD. And well, when a dietary therapy becomes the rule to follow, there must be a good reason, right? Part of this reason is a very large review of studies published on the Cochrane Library that proved that following a low-protein diet reduces the chances of ending up in dialysis. Studies are also proving that reducing protein intake reduces proteinuria, cholesterol levels, phosphorus levels, hypertension, metabolic acidosis. It even helps with anemia and other complications of CKD. Because, well, this is a diet that protects the kidneys and makes them work better. And yes, we are really close now to a consensus in the medical field when it comes to the low protein diet. There is just a reason why today there are still CKD patients not following a low protein diet. The low protein diet, or LPD in short, works, no doubt about it, at the point that today studies are not focusing anymore on if it works, but they are now thinking about how to make it work for everyone. Because you see, there is one main objection to the LPD today. What naysayers will tell you about this kidney-saving diet is that following a LPD is too complicated. This diet has too many restrictions. It's too hard to set up and it's too hard to stick to it. This is what some doctors are still telling their patients, by the way. And also to, well, prepare for dialysis. But I bet you don't want to do that, right? You would prefer to follow a diet rather than to start dialysis. I mean, you wouldn't be here otherwise, right? But you know, the renal diet must be followed in a very thorough way for it to work. And as I was saying, most CKD patients in MDRD study, a large study about the adherence to the LPD, were found to be unable to stick to the prescribed daily intake of protein. So they weren't able to improve. But don't worry, they actually found a solution. Researchers actually found a way to make the low protein diet work for everyone, giving a chance to all patients to avoid dialysis. So what's the solution that makes this kidney-saving diet work? It's actually rather simple. This is a principle I love to apply to my videos too when it comes to the diet. In this study, researchers requested the patients taking 250 grams low-protein rice per day or low-protein flour as a low-protein staple food diet instead of regular staple food daily. Yes, this is what I call focusing on what works. So instead of giving people a long list of foods to avoid, these researchers gave them staple foods such as flour or rice that are made to be lower in protein than the regular flour or rice that you can buy at the grocery store. And well, it worked. Participants in this study were able to greatly reduce their protein intake and protect their kidneys just by eating these low-protein food staples every day. And well, it's amazing how simple and effective this strategy is, because just avoiding high-protein foods doesn't work. This is where low-protein staple foods come in handy. They are what can make this diet work, because you still need to eat enough calories every day. You don't want to lose weight if you have CKD in the advanced stages. But you can't do that if you don't know what to eat. And well, all the most common carbohydrate sources such as rice, pasta, bread, anything made from flour, they all have some protein in them. This is why most patients find it hard to limit protein intake. I mean, they still have to eat something, right? And scientists found out that giving patients foods with no protein in them was the best way to help the patient get enough calories every day without eating too much protein. Yes, this is literally the easiest way in the world to improve your kidney function. So, question, what low-protein staple foods were used in this study? So, the study was done in Japan, and naturally they focused more on rice, which is the main staple food in many Asian countries. Now, the problem with rice is that it is relatively rich in protein. 100 grams of white rice contain about 7 grams of protein. The rice they use in this study, on the other hand, is produced by a Japanese brand food called Forica Foods. They specialize in medical foods, and thanks to a proprietary procedure, they are able to produce rice and noodles with just 0.1 to 0.83 grams of protein per 100 grams. So, a lot less protein than what you will get from regular rice. Keep in mind that someone with kidney disease is supposed to consume only 20 to 35 grams of protein per day, depending on body weight. And while rice is not a high protein food, when you get 7 grams here, 7 grams there, it quickly adds up and you end up eating more than you want, as we have seen. This is especially important because foods like rice, pasta, grains, legumes do not have high quality protein, and studies are showing that when you are limiting protein intake, it is better to eat more high quality protein like that you can get from egg whites, for example. So the idea here is simple. Patients eat this rice and they get the calories they need without getting too much low quality protein. Now you may ask, I'm not in Japan. How do I find low protein food staples? Well, Japan is not the only country in the world that adopted the low protein diet for kidney disease decades ago. In Italy, we also use low protein foods such a staple of the renal diet. But we don't make rice, we make pasta here. There are at least 3 brands that produce low protein or no protein pasta, and some of them also export these products. Low protein pasta is a zero or very low protein alternative to pasta that tastes as good as regular pasta. And since low protein pasta is especially developed for people with kidney problems, it is also very low in potassium and phosphorus. Actually, some brands also fortify this pasta with renal vitamins. Talking about brands, this pasta is pretty easy to find here in Italy. This is Amazon.it. You can find almost any type of low protein pasta here, but you can also find low protein cookies, bread, and more. They ship in Europe, so if you are anywhere in Europe, you should have no problems. It may be trickier if you live in places where low protein diets were not the norm for people with kidney problems. However, this is a brand called Aperten. Some websites in the US, Canada, and Australia carry it. Another brand is called Flavis. This one actually ships only in the US. This brand is called Loprofin and ships in Australia and New Zealand. I haven't found anything in the Philippines nor in India, so if any of you guys know about low protein pasta brands in these countries, please let me know in the comment section. Now, a very important question you may ask: what if I cannot find these products or they are too expensive for me? Guys, even if you don't have access to this kind of low protein food staples, don't worry. You can still benefit from the findings of these very important papers, and you can still improve your diet, thus improving your kidney function. Because their results can be replicated just by focusing on low protein staple foods you can actually buy at the grocery store. Some staple foods with very low protein content that are suitable for someone with kidney disease are all fruits except dried fruits. Fruits are rich in antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, and fiber, and can help lower blood pressure and inflammation. Apples, bananas, berries, grapes, melons, oranges, pears, they are all very low on protein. And all vegetables except peas, beans, and corn. These vegetables are also high in antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, and fiber, and can help prevent constipation and lower blood pressure. And they are low on protein and safe for a renal diet, just like many sources of healthy fats such as olive oil and avocados. Healthy fats can help lower cholesterol and inflammation and provide energy and essential fatty acids. Olive oil is a good source of monounsaturated fat and antioxidants, while avocados are rich in vitamins and fiber, all very low in protein and great to protect the kidneys. These foods can be combined in different ways to create delicious and nutritious dishes that are low in protein. You can make a fruit salad with your favorite fruits and a dressing of lemon juice and honey. You can roast or steam your favorite vegetables and drizzle some olive oil and vinegar over them. You can mash some avocados with garlic and lime juice to make a guacamole dip for your tortilla chips or raw vegetables. Okay, and now you may ask, but Catherine, the main finding you showed us today is that most patients cannot follow the prescribed limit for protein intake. How can I make sure I'm not making the same mistake? Well, the answer is this: 100% free up. This is something I recommend everyone with kidney disease actually. It's a better way of managing your diet than just following a diet prescribed to you by a dietitian. It's an app called Chronometer. It's a very complete diet app actually, and it's simple to use once you get the hang of it. You basically just weight everything you eat on a kitchen scale and you input the food and the weight into the app. What this app gives you is the total of the calories, protein, carbohydrates, and fats you are getting every day. Yeah, it takes some extra time at first, but I still recommend doing this after reading the study today's video is all about. Plus, you will also know how much sodium, potassium, and phosphorus, and well, all the other vitamins and minerals you are getting every day. You can also scan the tag of packaged foods items and the app will automatically add them. I personally use these kind of apps every day because I want to track my macros for my diet. There are various free or freemium apps you can use: Nutritionix, MyFitnessPal, Chronometer, Lucid, and more. They all do a similar job, but the one I actually use is Chronometer because it comes in a free version that lets me do everything I need. And well, in my opinion, for someone with kidney disease, making 100% sure that they are getting the right amount of protein every day is completely worth the hassle of having to weigh everything and putting everything in the app. And guys, if you want to learn more about the best foods for the renal diet, this video up here is for you. Gathering here, in a recent study, 120 CKD patients in stage 3 and 4 were able to change their lives forever just by eating exactly what I will show you today. They reversed the decline of their GFR. After 24 weeks of eating like this, their GFR was higher instead of lowered. Incredible! And do you know why this was possible? Because they started to follow a super easy yet effective renal diet. But you know, for many people, the renal diet is confusing. Some patients don't know what to eat. They need to eat enough calories, but not from protein. They need many vitamins, but not from foods with potassium. They need carbs, but just from foods with a low GI. Now the big question is, can we make the renal diet easier? Okay guys, I've based today's video on the most recent scientific breakthroughs regarding the renal diet. My aim is to create the perfect eating plan for people with kidney disease. And what I want to share with you today are eating plans that are made following the specifications set by the study I've shown you earlier. Because in this trial, CKD sufferers, many of them in stage 4, were able to improve. By the way, this is a randomized controlled trial that was published by the Cambridge University on the British Journal of Nutrition, a very respectable paper in 2022. Now, the most interesting part, this result was achieved with an incredibly easy to follow eating plan. No supplements required, apart from vitamin D. No strict diets. Participants who improved were instructed to keep their normal caloric intake. And also, just a moderate protein restriction. And yet, after 24 weeks from the initiation of the intervention, on average, their GFR improved by 2.8 points. Which is amazing because when you are in stage 3 or 4, your GFR is supposed to decline over time, not to improve. Now guys, I have actually already made a video about this trial because I think it's really interesting for us. And I've published it recently and I want more in depth about the theory behind it. I've analyzed the targets the people who improved their kidney function had to achieve. The protein intake, caloric intake, potassium, fiber, and so on. But today I want to take this one step further and share with you what the people on this trial actually ate to improve their kidney function. Now a quick disclaimer before we move on. These eating plans are only examples. They were made with the need of specific patients in mind. Because you see, personalization is the first requirement of a renal diet that works today. So don't change your diet without consulting your doctor. But yeah, this is gonna be interesting. Let's take a look at what a stage 4 CKD patient has been eating to get back their kidney function. So as you can see, this is not a diet for weight loss. Plenty of calories here, plenty of super healthy foods. And I want to be very clear on this. An eating plan like this one was all these people needed to completely stop the progression of CKD and even improve their GFR in stage 4. Now, this eating plan is great in my opinion. For example, we will have oatmeal with almond milk, blueberries and walnuts for breakfast. This is a delicious and super healthy way of starting the day. Almond milk is a great low phosphorus alternative to milk. Always choose unsweetened almond milk, by the way. Oatmeal is great. It's one of the healthiest foods in your breakfast because it contains beta-glucan, a special type of fiber with detoxing properties. And also blueberries, a real superfood full of antioxidants, and walnuts, a great source of omega-3s. And well, this eating plan also follows perfectly all the guidelines outlined by the study published by the Cambridge University. So if your diet looks like this already, congratulations! Question: what's so special about this meal plan? First of all, it is completely plant-based and it's low in protein but not too low. Guys, that's very important. It's one of the main reasons why I'm sharing this with you today, because while eating even less protein can be a way to protect the kidneys even more, you will be requiring to take keto analogs. Keto analogs are a supplement that CKD patients are supposed to take when following a low protein diet because it replaces protein without creating waste products that are heavy on the kidneys. Unfortunately, keto analogs are rather expensive and in some countries hard to find. Not needing keto analogs is what makes this diet special. The aim of this trial was to create an eating plan that can help CKD sufferers improve, even those in stage 4, without requiring supplementation. And yes, with this amount of protein, you don't need keto analogs. Now, all the protein in this diet come from plant-based sources, and that's also great. You see, the aim here was to keep phosphorus and acidity to a minimum without reducing too much the amount of protein. This is why plant-based sources of protein were chosen. Question: what plant-based sources of protein are the best for a renal diet? In the trial published by Cambridge University, the authors chose to focus on protein sources with a high biological value, meaning that they contain all the essential amino acids the body needs. And when it comes to plant-based sources of protein, only a few plants meet the requirements. One is soy, that we will be having a lot in this eating plan. For example, for lunch, there is a tofu and veggies stir-fry. Sounds yummy! Soy yogurt is also going to be present as a snack. Another source of protein here is going to be beans.
Wait. What?
Now you may ask, but I thought beans were forbidden in renal diet? Well, they actually were for a while because they contain phosphorus and potassium. Now, however, we know that the phosphorus and potassium from plant-based foods is not really bioavailable. The body only absorbs a low amount of these minerals, and this is why today beans are considered superfoods when it comes to kidney health, according to the National Kidney Foundation. And beans are also very rich in iron that you can make bioavailable by adding a source of vitamin C and fiber, all while being very low in fats and calories. But obviously beans do have protein, so make sure that if you have beans in your diet, the amount of protein you will be getting at the end of the day is right for you. As we can see from this eating plan, the protein intake was thoroughly calculated to exactly 0.65 grams of protein per kilogram of ideal body weight. Now, this also means that you will need the help of a renal dietitian to calculate the amount of protein you need every day. Question: if we need to limit so many nutrients, what do we eat? Now guys, when I say that you should limit phosphorus, protein, certain fats, I always get the same question. I often hear that a high-carb diet is bad for people, but if you can't eat protein nor carbs, what's left? Some people will tell you that carbs are bad for you. We have all heard this. Carbs will make you fat. Carbs are inflammatory, and so on. But that is misinformation. It's a lie. Not all carbs are bad, so don't trust whoever tells you to avoid everything containing carbs. And I always get a lot of hate on YouTube when I say that carbs are healthy. But you see, there is scientific proof that certain, not all, just certain carbs are very healthy for you. So I don't care what the various, ex-keto gurus, now carnivores on YouTube will tell you. If you have kidney disease, even with diabetes, you must get the largest part of your calories from carbs. The study on which I've based today's video proves exactly this. As I was saying, it was published on the British Journal of Nutrition by the Cambridge University, and this is a randomized controlled trial, the best type of study when it comes to nutrition. Now in this study, as you can see, the treatment group gained back some of their kidney function after 24 weeks. And you know what they ate? Mostly carbs, as we can see here. And we also know exactly how much carbs they were eating, around 365 grams per day on a total of 2,400 kilocal. So more than half of the calories the CKD patients in stage 4 who improved are getting is coming from carbohydrates. Okay, so let me know what you think about this. Let me know in comment section if you are getting a similar amount of calories from carbs, or if you still have reasons to think that carbs are bad for you. Let's talk about it. If you guys are interested, I will make another video just about this topic. And by the way, I also want to make a frequent ask questions video, so ask questions in comments and I will be answering the most upvoted. So don't forget to also post and upvote interesting questions. Now, from this study, we also know what sources of carbs are the best, because when it comes to carbs, finding the right sources is all that matters. And it's true that certain carbs are bad for you. You don't want added sugar in your diet. Only natural sugars from fruit and veggies are safe. And also, you also want to limit ultra-processed carbs intake, because this type of carbohydrate acts in a similar way to sugar in the body, causing an insulin spike. Pasta, white bread, processed breakfast, sugary snacks and desserts, fast food items, packaged convenience foods must all be avoided. So yeah, carbs are great. They can be very healthy if they are natural and if they have a low GI. Now guys, this eating plan is available in description if you want to take a closer look at it. But there is more I wanted to share with you. What about people with diabetes? Yes, I also prepared an example of an eating plan for someone with diabetes. Let's take a look. So this is similar to what we have already seen, but it's for a different person. This is for a woman with an ideal body weight of 59 kilos with diabetes and stage 3B kidney disease. And as you can see, this diabetes patient should still be getting most of their calories from carbs, even if carbs are a little lower here because both protein and fats are higher in percentage. So as I was saying, the focus should be on healthy carbs. Oatmeal, berries, apples, brown rice are all great carb sources, rich in fiber and low on the glycemic index. This is a real therapeutic diet. Also notice that every meal containing carbs also contains a source of fiber, a source of protein, and of fat. This is a simple way of making sure these carbs are absorbed as slow as possible. Because you see, eating carbs with other nutrients will naturally slow down their absorption, preventing an insulin spike. Now, there are also a few superfoods to fight diabetes here. As we can see, there is raw apple cider vinegar. Taken at meals with water, raw ACV can help improving insulin sensitivity and fasting blood sugar levels. And also, cinnamon. I love cinnamon because it can really make a difference with blood sugar control, and it tastes so good. Another diabetes superfood that I've included here is broccoli. Broccoli has long been touted as a must in a diet of any health-conscious individual, kidney disease patients included. This is because this superfood is loaded with fiber antioxidants that protect the kidneys, vitamin C, and other kidney-protecting compounds. And even if it's a bit rich in potassium, broccoli is so healthy, it's still worth eating it in moderation, especially for those with diabetes. What not many people know about broccoli is that this is the best dietary source in the world of the master mineral when it comes to reducing and stabilizing blood sugar levels. So yeah, what can make a difference is basing your diet on this kind of foods. And also there's onions in here. Onions can really help because they're rich in quercetin, a flavonoid antioxidant that has anti-inflammatory, anti-diabetic, and anti-hypertensive effects. And in sulfur compounds such as allicin that have incredibly powerful anti-inflammatory and rhinoprotective effects. And guys, I believe that this trial was really interesting for us because the diet they created is so simple, so easy to follow, and yet it worked without the need for any supplement, which means, in my opinion, that they could have obtained even better results if they also added certain supplements that are proven to help. Nothing too hard to find. A good renal multivitamin, acacia fiber, a good probiotic, and maybe garlic supplements? Yes, I believe that taking these cheap and safe supplements can make a difference. So if you are not taking any of these already, or if you want to learn more, my video up here is for you. And this is all for today. Thank you for watching. God bless you all.